Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sweetest of all persuasions. It is I, Gayla, and welcome back to Book Uncorked and Caffeinated. And today is day 11 of Bookmas. And I'm going to do something a little different today. It's also to help me read what's on my shelf. So I'm going to do this new series in the new year. And doing a TBR from my shelf, but doing it in alphabetical order. So A through Z, books that start with that letter, the letters of the alphabet. So I've pulled the first half of the alphabet. So I pulled books from my shelf. They're not new books. They've been on my shelf. I haven't read them. There's not any of the books that I've showed you in the last few days that are new because I really want to get to the books that's on my shelf because some of them been there for a really long time and it's just time to read them. And I keep adding, but I'm not really reading as fast as I can. So we're going to do A through M right now. So the first book is Animal Farm. This also was my attempt, and not attempt because I'm going to do it, to purchase all the banned books, which I won't be able to purchase probably most of next year, depending on what's going on. Corruption, government, told through the story of animals on a farm. So George Orwell did this many, many years ago, and it's still prevalent and relevant to today's time. That is A. Then we have B, Brooklyn Noir, Brooklyn Noir 1 and 2. And as I was doing my research the other night, it's also a third book, so I'm going to be on the hunt for that. These are just stories and anthologies of Brooklyn, different neighborhoods. Haven't read it. I've read it years ago, as you can see, and this is where I stopped. So I'm just going to reread. That was page, 73. So I'm just going to reread. So Brooklyn Noir has Nelson George as a writer, if you know, you know. And Brooklyn Noir 2 as a writer that has Carlson Whitehead, the author of Nickel Boys. C is Call Baby by Morgan Jerkins. I actually have 2 copies of this. I bought one at a discount store, and then I think I also found it at the dollar store. But this has come back on people's radar. Let's just read a little bit of it. Layla desperately wants to become a mother, but each of her previous pregnancies has ended in heartbreak. To protect the child she's now carrying, she turns to the Malkins, an old and powerful Harlem family known for their caul, a precarious layer of skin that is rumored to hold miraculous healing properties. So that's what I'm going to read for C. Then for D, I'm going to read Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This came around the time, it reminds you of like Angela Thomas, those types of books about, you know, being black, being young, being male in the society in which we live, and just trying to figure things out as a person that is often looked at as not one who will do well in society. Profiling. The next book, Everything Is Not Enough. I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce this Nigerian American's name. But this book is following 3 women that have their own struggles. And let's read a little bit. It says, can a career woman truly have it all? Can having it all be a gilded cage? Can you run from the past to have it all? So that's going to be E, Everything Is Everything. F is Family Meal by Brian Washington. And this is about family, food, and how those things bring people together or tear them apart. It says, an intimate novel about 2 young men, once best friends, whose lives collide again after loss. So it looks like they were together, something happened, they were pulled apart, and I'm sure they got together over like a family meal. And when I first picked this up, I didn't know it was a black author. It's a black author. So that's my F book. Then my G book, I had a lot of G books, but I settled on this one, Girl, Woman, Other. And also a black author, Nigerian author as well. It says Girl, Woman, Other is about struggle, but it's also about love, joy, and imagination. So that's my G book. My H book, I have 2 as well. So one is Halsey Street. What's her name? Nima Coster. Halsey Street. I simply picked this up. One, Nia is from Brooklyn, more specifically Fort Greene, where I grew up, and native New Yorker, which is hard to find these days, and a Brooklynite. And it talks about like Brooklyn, and Halsey Street is a major street in Brooklyn. If you live in Bedford-Stuyvesant, it's literally where I grew up. It's 2 blocks from my house. I had to walk past Halsey Street for everything, catch the Halsey Street bus, go to the train station, all the things. So this started off just by wanting to see what was people talking about. She says, when everything has changed and an artist must find her way home. A modern day story of family, loss, and renewal. Halsey Street captures the deeply human need to belong, not only to a place, but to one another, which I think is super cool. And talking about Brooklyn. Wow. But I have another H book that I've been wanting to read, and so I pulled it as well. Hush Harbor. And it's a male author. It says, a resisting group takes America's radical reckoning into its own hands, excuse me, in this powerful, stirringly original debut novel. After the murder of an unarmed black teenager by the hands of the police, protests spread like wildfire in Bliss City, New Jersey. I feel like some of these books, they're just copy carbon of what's happening right now, which is sad because you would think in 2020 we have moved, but here we are. My iBook is, which was interesting. I didn't know if I was going to have one or what it was going to be about. I left my homework in the Hamptons. What I learned teaching the children of the 1%. So for those who don't know, I'm an educator, but I've never taught the 1%. But I wanted to see what this really talked about. It says, a captivating memoir about tutoring the Manhattan's elite, revealing how a life of extreme wealth both helps and harms the children of the 1%. So I'm super interested in that. Talking about education, talking about wealth, talking about New York City, all the things that I love. My J book, which is really interesting because for the last 2 years I've been saying I was going to read this in the month of June, and it's Ralph Ellison Juneteenth. So I'm really going to tackle this, and I'll probably read it before June, or if I haven't read it by June, I really want to start it this year. I want to like start it on June 1st and finish by June 19th. You know, all the corny isms of it, but I really actually want to read this book. I don't think I've read this book in its entirety. I probably read bits and pieces of it, so I'm really interested of tying it all together. My K book, which is a thick'em. So this is probably going to be something I read over a certain amount of time, and maybe I'll do like a book vlog on this particularly King of Life. Yeah, this came up this year. It was around a few places. Not many people talked about it. So one or two people talk about it. So this is my K book. And then on a lighter note, Like a Sister is a mystery. And so I picked this up in one of my like shopping excursions and findings. It said, a mystery that has everything I love most. An intriguing setup and absorbing storyline that keeps me guessing, a satisfying ending, and most of all, incredibly well-developed characters. I kept thinking about how long after I finished the book, and that was by Jasmine Gullery. That was her synopsis of the book, so that's cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And last but not least for this is M, Man-Child in the Promised Land. Pretty famous book about Harlem. A Man-Child in the Promised Land is indeed one of the most remarkable autobiographies of our time. This thinly fictionized account of Claude Brown's childhood as a hardened, streetwise criminal trying to survive the toughest streets of Harlem has been heralded as the definitive account of everyday life for the first generation of African Americans raised in the northern ghettos of the 1940s and 1950s. And this book was first published in 1965. I did not know that. So yes, those are my books off of my shelf that's been there for either a year or more. I would say about 8 months or more, because 1 or 2 of them I bought within this year. And so yes, I'm really trying to read those books. I'm going to pull some more and go through the alphabet, and maybe I keep a little chart. Because I don't like to create a TBR, and these are books I want to read, but not say I'm going to read them this month, just as if I get them through the year. And that's fine, and I'll put them on a little chart and keep up with my alphabet TBR. So that being said, enjoy your day. Do all of the things, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you next video. Oh, in the comments, leave a book stack, and then also leave which one of these books you think I should read first. It doesn't have to be in the ABC order, just which book that interests you the most that you will want to see me do a book review on. That being said, again, do all the things, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces, bye.